everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Elle and I am an interiors and lifestyle blogger, and today I'm going to be talking you through all my hints and tips on how I organise my kitchen. So a little bit of backstory. I am a type A person. I love organisation and structure. I have a mild form of OCD, which my friends have kindly called LCD, which I actually really like because there's logic to the way I do stuff, so I'm like, yeah, that's LCD right there. But yeah, I do like things organised, and I get very freaked out when my home is cluttered. Like I can't deal with it. I have to just get it neat and organised. It helps soothe my soul basically. And when we started doing the rental kitchen renovation, which I will link for you to watch if you would like to see how we went to all this behind me, I knew that one of the things I wanted to do was take everything out of the kitchen and start again with the organisation. So I forewarned my husband about all the Amazon orders that were going to be coming the way, and I just went for it in terms of organisation and restructuring the entire kitchen. I have been heavily influenced by the Home Edit. I don't know anyone who hasn't been. I absolutely love them. I've been reading their books for years and following them for ages. And I always knew I wanted to do something very similar in terms of organisation. I was just waiting for the right opportunity, and this is when it presented itself. I will say one thing though, as much as I do love the way they do stuff, personally, please don't kill me, I am not a fan of the rainbow. It's not me. In case you haven't noticed, I'm a lover of neutrals, so I can't exactly do the rainbow here. I could probably do it as a rainbow of beige, but that's about it. But I don't personally like that style. I also don't love the overuse of plastic. It just doesn't go with my aesthetic, which is where I kind of create my own sort of organisation. I truly believe that you can organise as well as make it look pretty, and that's what I like to create. Aesthetically pleasing organisation. This is what I'm all down for. So yeah, I'm going to kind of talk you through my kitchen and how I do stuff. I do hope you find something useful. I will link everything down below that I have used if you are interested in using one of them or all of them. I just hope you kind of go away from this video ready to sort of organise your own kitchen and feel empowered and all that. So let's get started with how I organise the kitchen. Okay, so first we're starting on the floor. This is our back cupboard, as I call it. This cupboard lives along the island stretch nearest to the kitchen door. And it's a cupboard that's not difficult to get to, but when you're doing everyday cooking and everything like that, it's just a faff to walk all the way around and then walk all the way back. So I knew when I was redesigning this kitchen, I wanted this space to be a place for stuff that doesn't get used every single day. It's kind of just special occasion stuff. With one exception to my husband's blender and stuff. He loves creating protein juices, shakes. You can tell I have no interest in that stuff, but he loves that. He likes to make himself a protein smoothie every day when he gets home from work. But because his equipment is so bulky, there just wasn't any space on the other side for him to have it out for everyday use. So I kept it here, so it's easier to grab, but unfortunately didn't make the edit in terms of going over, which is fine. You'll see when you see the rest of the kitchen why it ended up here. So you can kind of see, but it's in 4 sections, and I use, here we go, I use these seagrass baskets pretty much everywhere. I absolutely love them. This is the largest size, and I've got 3 of them in this cupboard, and they're great for everything. So I'll start with this one. I'll try not to pull everything out too much, but this one here, as you can see, is all our baking stuff, so it doesn't get used every day, so I keep it here. Now I do split some of my baking stuff up, which you will see a bit later on. I do have a pantry that has all the flour and sugar in it, because some of those stuff I do use on an everyday cooking basis. But for this basket here, we have everything that we don't use. It's literally when I'm going to be baking cake, which is going to be later on this afternoon. So you'll see that I've got this gorgeous cake stand that unfortunately doesn't fit anywhere else. I've got bread making tins, rolling pin, pie dishes, everything. And then I have this I'll give you a close up so you can see, but I have this little tray thing here, and then this holds all my flavourings, my baking powder, my yeast, my icing or confectionery sugar, because again, these are things that I'm only really using when I'm actually baking something. It's not everyday cooking. So that all sits in somewhat of an organised fashion in this basket right here. And then down here is a couple of cooked pieces that we don't use every day, but we do tend to get out maybe on a Sunday and stuff like that. So I'm not going to pull it out, but right at the back is our slow cooker. We tend to get this out every Sunday, but it's such a huge piece that this is where it's best kind of to be. Here is our Dutch oven, or our casserole dish, however you call it. So this is great for big kind of like soups or big stews and everything like that. Again, it's not really used in everyday cooking, so he lives here. And then here we have our skillet pan. Again, not really used in everyday cooking now that we've got new pans. He used to be, but he's now kind of been reserved for special occasion. Yeah, we just take the handle off, otherwise he's such a long piece, he gets in the way. So he just sits very nicely there, makes so much noise. And then down here, again, we'll give you a close up, but it has my husband's blender thing that powers it, and then another seagrass basket which has pretty much his bowl that he puts his protein smoothie in, a mini chopper, the blender, the oven mixer, and then I feel like he's actually not put this away properly because that cake should not be that unorganised. There we go. And then the other thing that we have in here is, I think this is called an emulsion blender, but I call it our soup blender because we really only get this out for when we're blending soups, which will be happening now that it's winter and I need comfort. So they all sit kind of nicely in there, easy to pull out as one big thing, put away if not. And then on the top bit is called our backstock area. So I do tend to book buy certain things just to make sure we have it available as and when we need. My ideal world would be that we have like a pantry where it's all, they have all this. For the moment, I've just got this little section. So again, close up, but they have a big basket here. This has everything in it, so before we do the weekly food plan, I will check here just to make sure it's not in here if we need it. And then in the gap in the middle, I have a supply of Lee's almond milk and oat milk if he brings any back home from work, because that's where he gets his oat milk from. And then I have a small basket that you do have to kind of concertina out, but this one holds the oils and I would call more seasoning and stuff, and jars. So I've got my jars of black olives, I've got Lee's sea salt that he fills up our grinders with. I've got a back stock of honey because before we did the makeover he promised me that he had no honey, and then as I was cleaning the cupboard out I found three, there we go, 3 jars of it, and I was like, this is why we need this in place. And then just the, oh, this is extra virgin olive oil. Oh, a truffle oil, because I'm fancy with my eggs on toast. So yeah, that's this section. Like I said, it doesn't really get opened up on a daily basis apart from this one cupboard when my husband is making his smoothies, but it's great just as an overall space. And before this, it was just full of stuff that you really couldn't pull anything out without it all spilling out. So I'm so glad that I invested in this so it's easier to just pull one thing out and then it's all done. Now that we're done with this little bit, let's move you on over to the pantry. Okay, so this is our pantry cupboard area. This is such a fun styling moment I love having fun with. Before I do that, I want to show you this bad boy, which is my pride and joy of the kitchen, I'm not gonna lie. This is my Le Creuset utensil holder and I absolutely love it. I got this on a John Lewis voucher I just got and I knew exactly what I wanted to spend it on. It is Spenny, she is a lot, but I do think it's worth investing in a huge piece like this because it's just timeless, and just look how pretty she looks holding all our utensils. She lives on the end of the island next to the oven, so it's great when you're cooking just to quickly grab like wooden spoon or whatever you need to cook with, and I absolutely love it. And I do think this is an example of, yeah, this was expensive, but this will last a lifetime and it looks so pretty. Like, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to aesthetically pleasing organisation. Anywho, this, like I was saying, is our pantry. Now, when we first moved in, I realised how little organisation we actually had in this kitchen, so I needed to purchase something, and I was actually inspired by one of my favourite interior bloggers. Her name is Chrissy, but her Instagram username is Harlow James. I will link her down below because her aesthetics are so gorgeous, and she actually has one of these in her rental home, and I just thought brilliant. So yeah, it's an IKEA Billy bookcase with cabinet doors on it, and then I've just added these leather handles just to give it a bit of interest. It was such a good piece and it's given us all this storage, so it's absolutely amazing. So as you can imagine, the glass bit is very pretty and organised, the hidden bit is not, and that's exactly what I like. It's like a Monica cupboard. She's fancy on top, but she's not beautiful inside. So how best to do this? Should I open her up? Oh god, the reveal. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad because I just recently tidied her up. Okay, so I'm just gonna close this door here. So again, I'll give you close-ups because it's a bit hard because I tried to pull back so you could see the main. So yeah, again, it's a bit hard to see everything. I tried to pull you back, but I was like a teeny thing on the screen, so I thought I'll just do a lot of close-ups. So on this side, I have a lot of easy grabbable stuff. So I have all my beautiful kind of special glassware that never gets used unless it's a special occasion. Like these will be whipped out at Christmas and New Year's. And this is when I'm feeling fancy and I want to drink Prosecco from a pretty glass. Here is like my little baking station. So I have all these glass jars. These are from IKEA, really easy and simple to use. I do like the OXO pop containers, but I think I'm gonna wait to invest in those when we buy a home. So they'll be like a future purchase that I want to do. But for now, these are so cheap and easy to use that it's just worth having it here. And as you can see, I did use my label maker to make the labels. Some of them are missing labels, and that is because I can't find Larry the label maker anywhere. I have labelled underneath so I'm not confused by which one is plain and which one is the bread flour. So I have all these like jars here, big ones for the flours, little ones for the sugars, and then I have these smaller ones for sort of the kind of extras, as they call them. So desiccated coconut, ground almonds, which I do use a lot, and then poppy seeds, which I like to use on lemon muffins, as and when I do make muffins. Up top here, I have this, there we go. I have this wooden crate box. So this used to be where our spices and everyday like cooking things used to live before we did the makeover, and now it's just like my linen box. So it has like my huge tablecloth, it has like my Hessian runner, some napkins and stuff. I know this is weird because I don't actually have a dining table, but I remember seeing this collection of linens in Home Sense for like, I think it was $8.99 for a massive like tablecloth with this gorgeous French like print on it, and I just was like, well, I need to get that because that's never going to happen again by the time I do get a dining table. So they're all there ready and available to use, and I do use them across my coffee table sometimes when I'm doing some like styling moments, so I do use them. And then in the bit here I have like my whiskey glass, my cocktail shaker, and then across here I have a jar that's been dumped. Not happy with that. And then beer glasses and wine glasses just there. And then I have a section for my serving dishware and everything like that. I have a lot of vintage serving dishes that I love. My cheese nice on top of that. And then I do have this soup tureen, which I actually use more for popcorn. I just like to be fancy on a Saturday movie night. So yeah, that lives there. And then right underneath it is where all our kind of ugly cookbooks live, the non-neutral ones. Live in there. And then next to it is all like my alcohol and everything like that. And then this side of things again is the alcohol section, easily grabbable on top, and then obviously the extra longer bottles on the bottom. Here is my pink dishware, which doesn't get used unless I'm doing like a styling moment or anything like that. I have this glass jar, which is from IKEA. And yeah, I have popcorn in it because A, it looks so pretty. I would do the cookies, but I don't really eat cookies unless they're like big chunky cookies, and then they don't look pretty in a pattern. So I prefer sweet popcorn, and I have it in this jar because literally I will grab a handful like as and when I'm in the kitchen and just want a quick snack. That lives there. And then I have a styling moment here with just some pretty cookbooks and my egg holder because I like to use it in photos, my mixing, my cups, just for measuring, and they live there, easy grabbable as in when I'm grabbing like sugar and flour and everything. And then on top of here is a pretty bowl and a cake stand. Again, they were just easy enough to fit in there. And then that's that cupboard section. So let's swish you around to the fridge. So I'm going to be really quick with talking through this so I don't break the fridge with it being open too long, although it's keeping me nice and chilled, thank God. But this is our fridge freezer, and all my friends, when we had like our tiny fridge, my friends were obsessed with the way I organised it, and I just think honestly it's gone tenfold since we got this bigger one. So we have a lot more space, and it means that I can really organise things without cramming everything in, which is what we used to do a lot of the time previously. So I'll start with the doors, just mainly because you can't see them, but again I'll give you a close-up. I have used these labels to sort of say where things go. These labels you can actually buy from the Home Edit. I think they're available at Container Store and John Lewis for UK buyers, but these labels in particular I actually got in the back of my first Home Edit books. It's worth investing in the books because not only do they give great hints and tips, but there's also these labels that you can use across your home to kind of get you started with the organisation. So as you can see, I have kind of like, how do I describe it? Condiments here and then extra bits here. On here, it's so funny. I have camera film because you have to keep camera film apparently in the fridge so it doesn't go off. It's apparently really expensive. I've had this film living in my fridge for about, I think it's been about 4 years. It's just moved from house to house, and my husband always promises me he's going to use it. He's still not used it, but I'll just don't bother anymore arguing. And then, wait, why is that there? That shouldn't be there. Hang on, we're having a moment. There we go. So I had to have an impromptu organisation because he hadn't put things back properly. So yeah, condiments live here. So sort of my salad dressing, sriracha mayo, which is very important in our household, barbecue sauce, brown sauce for baking sandwiches on a Sunday, and then here we have so many milks. So I have a jar here, which I love. This is like my water jar. If I really want fresh mint water, it's right there for everything. And then we have my milk, because I drink cow's milk. And then we have this stuff, which my husband was trying out for work, which is chai milk, I think it is. It's actually really good when you make like a chai latte with it. It's not too bad actually. And then he has one oat milk and another oat milk. I don't know why, but they're there. Oh, and also right here, chocolate oat milk. Just have a lot of alternatives. So I'll start top to bottom, but essentially each shelf has these plastic containers, and I'm actually really okay with these plastic containers because you can get them in so many different shapes and sizes. And again, I've labelled them all because I am that person. Great for organising stuff. It just keeps everything neat and organised, and I know like if I need the cheese, I know which one I'm going to, if I need dairy, meat, etc, etc. So on top is our can dispenser or tin dispenser or soda, whatever you want to call it. We're a bit of like Coke Zero addicts in our household, and I love this because you can literally take one and as you can see it rolls it forward and everything. I have here just some odd bottles because they just didn't fit anywhere else, and then this box here I can't really pull out because it's a bit jammed, but this one, it has been labelled meals. So that's kind of like our full pasta that we like to eat every Friday lives there, and it's just anything that doesn't fall into the other sections of the fridge. And then here is like my dairy shelf, so I've got this box which I just pulled out. It's full of our cheeses. I love cheese, and it was just easier to have it all in this bit here. I have this box which is dairy, so this has like our massive tub of Greek yogurt, our olive spread and butter, and then I have a spare yogurt there with blueberries that my husband puts on his porridge. Here I have meat, so protein. So it's got like every bit of protein that we're going to have this week goes right here. This one's not labelled, but this is essentially my lunch section. So I have like falafel sometimes for lunches. I've got my tzatziki that I like to drizzle over, and then my red onion hummus that I like to have carrot sticks and stuff. And then to the side of it, we've got tomatoes. I love using these where possible. I need to put the blueberries actually in one of these. These are actually like Tupperware, glass Tupperware that you can get from IKEA. It has a plastic lid. You can get the wooden ones, but I prefer like the click ones because I just don't trust that the other ones I've got enough suction to kind of keep on all the time. But these are great for like when you're making meals and stuff, because for example, if we wanted to like, say if you wanted to warm up this leftover chicken, you just take the plastic lid off and then stick the glass container in the oven, and that's it. You don't have to like transfer anywhere. And I also love them for stuff like emptying out the veg and stuff. I don't like seeing a lot of plastic, like supermarket plastic, if that makes sense, in my fridge. It just confuses me and I don't like it. And I much prefer to put stuff like this in here because then I can see exactly what we have. Like if you use the other containers, they tend to like smush into each other. And this is just much easier to kind of shop my fridge and see actually what we've got and kind of go from there. So as I said, I've got like a leftover one for chicken, and then my husband has this massive one which is a bit empty at the moment, but this is what he uses to make his overnight oats. So he'll make like a big batch of this, like I think on a Sunday and a Wednesday, and then as and when he'll just take from it, and then he'll travel with that to his work for breakfast. We've got some leftover pulled pork in one of those. Again, just kind of stick that there. I might actually have that for my lunch this afternoon. And then I do have like the spinach stuff to the side because I can't actually put them in my veg drawer. Our veg drawer is chocker, which is nice. It always happens right after we've done the food shop, which literally happened yesterday. And then I have, oh, it's looking a bit sad this, but this is our glass container that we put our grapes in to just sort of grab as and when we want a grape, and then that's like the ones on top. I need to sort that out. And then here is like our veg drawer, which is kind of like a rainbow effect. I have like, I can't really pull it out, but I have one of the plastic dividers in here so that it doesn't all go loose. So I've got like 3 sections. So essentially I have like the carrots, which are easy to grab. Here I've just put the cabbage and the broccoli just for the moment. I've got cucumber in here with the spinach bag that needs to be used up this afternoon. Kind of anything green and salady goes here, and then this section I've got like loads of peppers that I can just grab for salads, and then like the pepper cabbage that we're still going through. And that is pretty much how I organise my fridge. It just makes everything much easier to shop in my head, and like we're not wasting as much food because I can actually see everything and can see what needs to be used. So it's massive organisation in my head, and I absolutely love it. And I just would recommend, if you've got like a little bit of chaos happening in your fridge, just have a look at getting 1 or 2 Tupperwares just to see how it will help you in the future, because honestly it can't make anything worse. They just, I swear by them for the fridge. Okay, so this is like our everyday food cupboard. This is where we mainly come to grab stuff when we want to cook and everything like that. This is actually where the old fridge used to live, so compare this like size to what we've got now. So glad we did the change. Thankful that my landlord was like, yep, let's change it over. So we kind of have it organised like this. This is a little bit of a work in progress, but for the moment it's really working for us how we've got everything organised. So I'll start from the bottom up, shall I? Yeah. So I've got more of the same seagrass baskets. These are the medium size. This one here is the smaller one. I'll get to that in a bit. So here I have 2 that are just keeping everything nice and neat. This one here, this one holds like all our, I want to say cupboard veg. I don't know how to quite describe it, but it basically has like sweet potatoes in a bag, red onions, white onions or brown onions, and then these little bags, what's this? Ginger and garlic. These like net bags, I think you can get pretty much from anywhere. I think I picked these up at Asda one time, just so I could like grab some when we were getting loose fruit and veg and everything. These actual ones here, these are really cute. These were what our paint tin came in, so what we painted like the cabinets in. This is what the tins came in, so I thought, well, I'm just going to reuse them as bags for stuff, you know, waste not, want not. So this kind of sits here nicely. Ideally, I do want to upgrade because the bright green is not like my thing. I kind of think I want to get some other ones, but I'm just going to wait until these sort of start to disintegrate before I upgrade them. But this is great to just like pull out and grab what I need and see exactly what I have and go from there. So then this one here is kind of like, I'm calling it the grains, but there's so much more than that in there. So this basket here has pretty much like what you would have in a cupboard essentially. So I've got like lasagna sheets for when we make lasagna, a box of risotto rice, I've got a packet of noodles that we're going to have this week for dinner, and then I've got like a box of kind of boil in the bag rice. My husband likes to cook with it, it's just easier. We've got our gravy granules in here, and then I think this is breadcrumbs? Yeah, this is breadcrumbs. And then I have some glass jars that were originally in the top cupboard that I'm about to show you, but I've just sort of repurposed them. So like this glass jar holds all our stock cubes, as and when we need. This one has nuts in it, and this is just like a mixture of nuts that we tend to throw in with bakes or on salads and everything like that. And then this one holds pretty much the only grain that I eat, red lentils, and I tend to have this in like this like butternut squash spicy soup that I love to make in the winter. So they sit in there nicely. And then this next section is my tin station, and I am so happy with this section. I saw actually this being used on Rachel Parcells' Pantry. I will link the review down below because it's I mean, it's like a second kitchen essentially. It's absolutely massive, but it gave me so many ideas for like organisation, how I wanted to do it. So these are actually, they're advertised on the Amazon listing as like where you'd put like your sodas and you would pull it and it would roll, much like what you have in the fridge. I just decided to get a couple and use them as like tin rollers. So I have baked beans, black beans and chopped tomatoes, which is things that we pretty much use every single week. And again, it's just like, instead of having like this massive like kerfuffle of tins and trying to figure out everything's in date order. That's how LCD I got with this. And literally you just grab one and it rolls, and there's like no mess, no fuss, no hassle. It's all nice and neatly organised. So it's literally on the shelf, you just grab and go, and there's just no mess. And then I have this like pull out drawer. Again, this is one of the boxes from, I don't think I've mentioned this, but all the plasticware is pretty much from iDesign. It's what the Home Edit use, and I've just some of these I bought on Amazon, but ones like this I've picked up in my local HomeSense ages ago. If you go to HomeSense, just go to the organisation section and just check them out, because they always have 1 or 2 pieces, and if you're willing to wait a little bit longer you can get them for like half the price. But this little tin section here holds like things that we do use, but they're not part of like the everyday use, if that makes sense. So I have like a coconut milk, some red kidney beans, chickpeas, and then like some sweet corn. And then what I do have is extra tins in our back stock, so as and when I can just check there. But this is kind of like, I know we're going to be doing like a curry one night, etc, etc. And then the top shelf is a little bit sparse, but I'd rather have more space to grow into than run out. So here is our snack box. I like this, just again, it's easy to pull out. So I have I've taken it out of the packaging and just lined it up because I can. So I have all the sort of like bars I eat. Big bag of popcorn for movie night tonight. Oh, not tonight because we're going out, but popcorn for movie night. Sometimes there's like tortilla chips in there, etc. Just kind of anything that you want to grab and get a snack from. Here I have a canister that I was using for my pods. Our pod machine now lives literally just here, so I've kept it just here so I can grab it out of the cupboard. I actually need to fill that up because that's looking a lot lengthy and scary for my liking. And then I have, I'll put this up here, I have a jar, which is my husband's protein powder, there for him to grab when he needs to do smoothies, because he can grab it here and then grab the fruit or grab his frozen berries there. And then at the back I have 2 canisters. This one is our whole wheat brown couscous, or couscous, however you want to pronounce it. Couscous sounds better in my head. And then here is our container of brown rice. And I like to kind of keep these 2 like in here rather than in the packaging like the other ones, because it's easier just to again grab a cup and just like get it out that way. And these are stuff that we actually use more daily in cooking than the other things. So we don't really do risotto a lot unless it's like a special occasion and like lasagna on a Sunday. So these are easy for like grabbing for when you're making lunches and stuff like that. And what I like to do, which is a tip, is to space them out but also do them on the odd like this. So you don't necessarily able to pull the other jar out without getting the others, but I can quickly see how much I have of everything rather than having to like dig through the cupboard, which is always innate because it is like literally getting on the ground and having a look. But this is much easier to kind of see what you've got and everything. Okay, I'm like a pea head in the corner of the screen, but it's the only way I can really kind of show you this kind of cupboard organisation. This is kind of where all our like sauces and bottles live, apart from I do have a section on the counter that has like our everyday stuff that pretty much I pick up every day to use to cook. This is kind of where the rest of the stuff lives. So starting at the bottom, I have kind of like all the kind of jars and sauces and stuff kind of living here, easily grabbable, like big tub of Nutella, always needed. But to the side of it is like the newest thing that I've invested in and I absolutely love it. This is like a Lazy Susan turntable. As you can see, she easily spins. This is so much better for like getting bottles and stuff like that. It just makes grabbing so much easier. And if you face everything out, I've categorized it by cuisine, if that makes sense. So all the oils and vinegars live this side. Well, this is just Henderson relish, which is just an absolute need in anyone's house. And this one there, she needs oiling. We've got like maple syrup and then sort of soy sauce, chili sauce, sriracha, all kind of living just there. And then on top in this little cupboard, just Took a bit of wedging, but it was worth it. This is like our spice section. I have one of those like little step things so you can see like at the back of it, especially for little me. Like for Lee, it's all right. He can sort of see to the back of these cupboards. I cannot. I can only look upwards. So having this like little riser step in there has really helped with like being able to kind of see what spices are there. The spices are organised by alphabetically. Makes more sense in my head. My husband was like trying to rearrange it where he did it by most used. So I was like, no, doesn't compute with me. We're doing it this way alphabetically. And then on the top one, we've got more of these. Well, these ones are empty, they're waiting to be filled, but these are kind of like where our seeds and other nuts live, mainly just pine nuts, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. I like to put these over like salads and everything like that, so they just live up there nicely, keeping neat and organised. So that was pretty much all my kitchen organisation. I do hope you enjoyed this video and you've taken some tips and hints of like what you want to do in your own space. It doesn't have to be this major project that needs constant like care and attention when it comes to organisation. If you just put a little bit of effort in at the beginning, you can have a system in place that pretty much works for you 24/7. So like I said, take one tip, take all the tips, take none of the tips. If you watch this and realise actually none of what I do works for you and your lifestyle, but you actually have been inspired a different way, that's great. That's the whole main point of it, is to make sure it works for you. Like what works for me doesn't work for everyone, and that is absolutely fine. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Do like the video, leave me a comment if you have any other ideas or any sort of other hints and tips of organisation you think I might enjoy, and yeah, any other ideas you want for videos that you want to watch. Do like and subscribe please, I'd love to see you back here, and do check out some other videos that might be of interest to you, and I will see you again next week. Bye!